Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is where you at. This is Kingsley.
This is Mo. Welcome to another episode of
Gumbo. We right here, right back at you, live and direct, man.
Live and direct, man.
What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. We're just here to talk about some more hot topics, man. See what's going on in this cruel world.
In this crazy world, man. The NFL season is back. I'm sure that's your. This is your best part of the year. You love this part of the year.
It is. Week 1 ain't go too well for me. You know, my feelings was hurt.
Who is we? Who is we? When you say we, as in like, who is your team? Can you please state yourself to the world so they know?
We trying to be funny today. I see.
I just want.
But my team is the Washington Redskins. I'm sorry for the people that feel like that's offensive. The Washington team. That's my squad. You know, riding
the ones with the stadium over there in Landover.
Right over there by in your neck of the woods.
I could have sworn they lost. Like they was losing last season too. But you know what? Nah, it's a local team. It's a whole team, man. Yeah, Washington.
We don't weigh all that capital. We don't weigh all that capital. If you ain't riding with us, you ain't riding with us. We don't weigh all that. We don't got time for all that. We don't got time for all that, man.
But you know, another thing though with the NFL, a big thing that was happening even prior to the season starting is the whole thing with Jay-Z coming in. You know, partnership. You know, making a partnership with the NFL and things. So with that move, that was kind of like nobody expected it.
Yeah, it was because initially it just kind of hit everybody from left field. Like it was just
completely.
Yeah. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Completely. Like I definitely didn't see it coming because I remember, and this is part of what we're gonna talk about today when Kaepernick was going through his whole ordeal. I remember Jay-Z was one of the people on the forefront saying, "Hey, you know, he's standing for Kaepernick. He's against the NFL and what was going on with Kaepernick and everything." I think he even performed wearing his jersey once. You remember that performance? I think it was on Saturday Night Live. Yeah. So he was pretty big on that. So for now that he's coming in and doing a partnership with the NFL, it's like a huge turn of events. But that's what we're gonna get into today. The whole idea of protesting.
Right.
You know, the ways that people protest. Some people choose to do it from the outside. You know,
which is similar to what Kaepernick is doing.
Exactly.
He's fighting for his rights. He's kneeling. He doesn't care what people think of him. He's going to kneel. And it's not about disrespecting the country, nor the flag, nor the troops. It's about bringing awareness to social injustice.
Exactly. But you're doing it from the outside, as in you're not working within the system to do it. And then also some people like to protest from the inside of the system, from within the system, where they're pretty much working and maybe making their moves, whatever they have to do. They pretty much have the same end goals, both sides. But some are doing it from within the system and some are doing it from outside the system.
And when we say inside the system, then we liken that to Jay-Z is the deal he just had with, you know, the NFL. And a lot of people will call that trying to work it from the inside, you know. And the people that like the outside stance, they may not understand it too much, you know. But I do think there are benefits to both sides.
For both sides.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, where do you stand with that so far with like Jay-Z coming out and partnership with the NFL?
Well, as far as that, I like you said, like you just mentioned, it was like a shock to everybody. It was like blindsided everybody. And I did have my doubts, and I'm not sure that I 100% agree with it. I'm still doing my research on it and to figure out exactly how this plan is going to work to
because they haven't done anything so far.
Exactly. And you know, most of that stuff is done behind closed doors until big events and stuff actually happen. Then you may see, oh, okay, all right, this is what we're doing. Exactly, right. So I mean, because at the end of the day, I was with Colin Kaepernick. I was with Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reed, Malcolm Jenkins when, you know, it first started. Kenny Stills is still doing it. You know, And I'm all about, because I feel like if you just came into this country a year ago,
Okay.
you wouldn't even know what exactly Colin Kaepernick is fighting for.
Are you ever confused on the original source or
because
what triggered it?
Yeah, the narrative has been changed by the media so much. Like, they've turned it in, like, of course we have the main culprit is Donald Trump, and anytime something comes out of his mouth, the media is going to be all over it, you know. And when
like you talked about last week, where someone like the media could pretty much just change the whole narrative and influence the way people think.
Exactly. And Colin Kaepernick means no disrespect to troops, to the American flag, because this is where he was born and raised. And obviously, he said multiple.
I think he was even endorsed by a few of them. A few of them came out to publicly endorse
him. Exactly. So I mean, for him, it's always been about social injustice. The only thing he talks about is social injustice. But Trump and the media turned it into, oh, he's disrespecting the flag, he's disrespecting our troops, he's kneeling. But that's not what it's about. He's not kneeling, to disrespect the troops or to disrespect the flag. He's kneeling because of the social injustices, because of the killings, because of all these white supremacist acts, or because of what's going on in today's society in 2019, where we're supposed to have a, obviously I don't ever know if it's going to be possible to have a racist-free nation, but we're supposed to be as close to that as possible, and we still have all these things going on. All this social injustice going on, where it's you would think we still in the 60s or 70s. Every time you turn around, it's another black person getting shot. There's another
Right, you mean like so kind of like what he was doing. What he kind of focused on was like police brutality at the moment. At that moment, what was going on? It was a lot of that going on.
Right, there was like a string of different police killings where police happened to kill a black man, a black person, and he was standing up for that, because we were seeing a lot of that. It was just a hike in that, and I feel like the narrative got twisted and turned, and they turned it into he's disrespecting the flag, and he's disrespecting our troops, when that's never what it was about. And and I felt like Jay-Z was right there on his side, and even Malcolm Jenkins and Kenny Stills, Eric Reed, everybody was standing there right there with him. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jay-Z got this deal with the NFL, and it kind of looks shady, because you're making a deal with the same league that won't even employ this guy. You know what I'm saying? He's been out of work ever since he started protesting, ever since he left the 49ers. And there's been multiple quarterbacks that have been signed that we can look at and say Colin Kaepernick is better. I mean, come on, he led the 49ers to the Super Bowl. He played in the Super Bowl and played very well in that Super Bowl, I may add. So, for Jay-Z to turn around and then make a deal with the NFL, a lot of people are going to look at it. I don't want to say most, but I'm going to say some people. A lot of people are going to look at it like, hold on, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Because first you standing with him, fighting for him, fighting with him, and all of a sudden,
so it's like you turn on him.
Yeah, it's like you turned on him, man. And you from the outside looking in, I can understand those people, because even me myself, that's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? You go from let's fight with this together to let me make a deal with them, but you're not gonna bring your mans with you. He's still unemployed. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's but then you also have to look at it from Jay-Z's point of view. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, hey, I can make a deal with these guys, and we can infiltrate the system from the inside. I can get to know these people. I can bring my people in. I mean, if you notice, the opening game of the season, Meek Mill performed at that. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw a rapper perform at opening game. Usually maybe at the halftime show, but even then it's pretty light. I mean, the Super Bowl halftime show. But I think doing my research and reading up on it a little bit more, I do think Jay-Z has a plan. I mean, he's a mastermind. This man went from selling crack to being a billionaire. Right. So we know this is a smart guy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we know this guy's a mastermind. We know this guy is smart. We know he knows what he's doing. So, and I don't, I respect him and I respect that. But I can definitely understand where the people on the outside looking in are like, bro, you turned on him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't necessarily agree that he turned on him.
Mm-hmm.
For one, let's say this: Jay-Z made his money and his fortune, his name as an entertainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a musician, right?
Correct.
Okay. So now him making his name, and his money as a musician, he's pretty much at this point I feel like protesting from within the system, still using a platform that he made his name on, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, even though he's just an entertainer and just a musician, it's been several occasions where this man has actually fought for fought against social injustice and did a lot of things that most people just talk about it, most people just speak on it, but they never actually do.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, you can look at Meek Mill's case at this moment. He was able to garner people around him, pulling connections and networks of people that he has around him, pay for Meek Mill's, I believe his pretty much his legal fees in the millions, and was able to get this man out of prison against so many different odds. Meek Mill been fighting this for what, 10 years?
10 years.
He was able to get him off, one. And then, like I said, this was based like solely on his relationship that he had with a lot of big name people. He was able to bring all of them around. For example, give like a Robert Kraft and the Michael Rubin from the Philly from 76ers, right? Okay, one. Two, he was able to get, I remember 21 Savage off from his immigration case. I guess that's still going on, but he was able to get him out of jail at least, right? And have him still in the country performing, making money.
Get him out of ISIS custody.
Exactly. And then three, he's done like the Trayvon Martin, a documentary. He's done a lot. So I say that to say, man, a lot of people just walk around here, somebody get locked up. All they do is they put you on a t-shirt, say free you.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? People say free you. They might go out and protest, but no one is actually doing the work to say, okay, I'm making these connections, I'm using it. It's not always about money.
Right.
For example, it could be someone that's locked up that you know personally. You might put them on a shirt, say free this person, this, then on that person, and that's all good. You know, your heart is in the right place. That's all good and all, but you don't know your councilman. You never been to any town meetings. Right. You don't even know your Senate people. You don't know mayors, nobody. You're not even trying to make those connections. Right. To at least say, okay, I'm working this to maybe try to get this social injustice out, or maybe try to work this system to get my friend or this person out. We just standing and just protesting, which is great because your heart is in the right place, like I said, right?
No question.
Okay. Now, Kaepernick was never protesting the NFL.
Never. No.
What he was protesting was social injustice, right? Now, in him protesting that social injustice, the route that he chose to go about it was pretty much, I'm going to shock this people to the point where they have to give me attention, they have to change this system because it's not right, right? On the national stage, you see everybody, you're kneeling. That's going to create a shockwave because everybody wants to know why is this person kneeling, what's going on, like, you know, and that's what he did. All right, and that brought a lot of attention to the matter. Definitely brought international attention to it, right? But another part of that, like you said, he's still not employed. It's sad, but often when you take those routes in life, you just have to deal with the consequences.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's about money, and it's about money. So when you do something like that, and it's not appeasing to a lot of the people that watch the sport, you know, it's like if I sign this guy, how many fans am I going to lose? How much money? Because
mind you, the NFL is still a private corporation. It's still a business. It's still a business that's in the business of making money.
So they don't necessarily care about social injustice. You know, I mean, of course
they can care, but I feel like they're not gonna let it hinder them from making money.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Which to me is not caring. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can say you care, but if it's if you rather make money off of that, and I mean, who can blame them? We live in an economy, in a society where it's all about the dollar. You know what I'm saying? And to touch on your point about, you know, Jay-Z, like I said at the beginning, I wasn't, you know, I felt like he turned his back. Not necessarily turned his back, but I felt like it was like, damn, you just gonna turn on your mans like that. But at the same time, it's like you said, you have to. I think people look at the surface.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People look at the surface and they see Colin Kaepernick, Jay-Z, they were together. Now Colin Kaepernick, he still doesn't unemployed. Jay-Z's with the NFL, makes a deal. I feel like they just look at the surface level of that, and they, like the way you just broke it down, they don't look at all those things to where they can understand that, okay, he's actually trying to take a stance and try to go maybe a different route. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily go in front of cameras and kneel, but go behind the scenes with in the business aspect of it, and making moves there. And then the next thing you know, who knows? 5 years from now, every artist ever performing could be black. You know what I'm saying?
The way I think that so far,
or performing for the NFL, I should say.
The details they released about the deal that Jay-Z struck with the NFL so far, they're saying, okay, they're gonna put a lot of hip hop on the forefront of entertaining the NFL. They're playing it at games. Like you said, the performance is gonna be hip hop. Like you said, Meek Mill performing on kickoff night, and then also they're gonna like revitalize whatever social, you know, like their programs to fight social injustice. So they're gonna put more money into that, and that I feel like that's the end goal that we kind of want. We want, because at the end of, this is still a private business, but for them to say now, okay, we're gonna put a spotlight on the culture, we're gonna put more money into this to fight social injustice. I feel like that's doing a lot. To some people, it might not be enough. Like you said, Colin Kaepernick is still unemployed, you know, but I feel like that's a huge step that they're taking, you know, to kind of battle the thing that we're trying to battle also. So it's like we all have the same end goal. It's just we're going about it in different ways.
And some people don't understand. Like if you're looking at people that, you know, have been doing it one way, they may not understand it from the other way. People that have been protesting their whole life, they not
picketing and stuff.
You know what I'm saying. They're not gonna understand. Let me not say they're not gonna understand. I don't want to speak for anybody, but they may not understand what it is like to take the other route. You know what I'm saying. Somebody like Jay-Z who has had to go through the streets, but then also had to learn the business side of things too, and he taught himself how to maneuver through these things. He knows both ways. He knows how to protest. Stand up, protest, and then he also knows, hey, protesting may not be the best idea. Let me try to infiltrate the system. Let me try to get through the business side of it. And like you said, strike a deal with these people where it's going to be hip hop oriented. You know, a lot. They're going to put a lot of money into these programs to help with social injustice, different ways like that. You know, I mean, because Kaepernick could have done the same thing as well. You know, he did not have to kneel.
And I feel like at this point he can, but at this point he can't even necessarily go back to do that anymore because you've lost that platform that you had. For example, somebody like Jay-Z, like I said, when I started, I was saying that he's an entertainer. That's his platform, and that's what he's using. Even though he's an entertainer, he's still doing all these things, but he makes sure he maintains that platform. Now, Kaepernick kind of sacrificed his in a way, you know, to protest. So you no longer have this platform, so it's not. He's still an activist, you're still protesting, but you're not going to get as much attention. You're probably not going to get as much resolve because it's almost like this whole out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. For example, like look at somebody like LeBron James, right? He's an athlete, probably the best basketball player in the world, probably maybe ever, right? But
I beg to differ, but
I hear you. But I say that to say though, he's indirectly shining light on like black fatherhood. You know what I mean? He's shining light on, hey, you could be a star athlete, a black star athlete, and never have to you're not getting in trouble, you're not running around having babies everywhere, just wilding out. You're not doing it. You raising your family, you conducting yourself accordingly, and you're being a good role model. He started a school for kids. So like he's doing all this, but it's still based on that platform that he has as an athlete. You know what I mean? He never gave that up. So I say that to say, once you lose that platform, you're no longer able to maybe pull as much. You're not able to pull as much attention. You're not able to pull as much influence on people than you would,
right.
If you had that platform.
Right, yeah, and it's like Draymond Green said it best. He LeBron's biggest impact wasn't necessarily on, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't on the court. It was off the court.
Right.
What he's done off the court. The man has made a school in his hometown. I mean, he's paved the way for athletes to basically, create their own, have control over their own careers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And he's brought awareness to social injustice. He's done so many things outside of the basketball court that you have to look at it and be like, this man has brought major change to our communities, and it's different. Like you said, it's different ways to go about it. He didn't necessarily kneel or whatever the case may be. Like even when Trayvon, I know he I'm sorry, not Trayvon, but Eric Holder in New York.
Yeah, the shirt, I can't breathe.
Yeah, shirt, there's different ways. There's different ways of protesting. There's different ways to get things done. And what I guess we would like to let everybody know is there's different ways to fight for your rights. You can protest. You can take the hard stance on the outside and protest. And I don't even want to call it necessarily say on the outside. I just want to say there's certain ways to protest.
You're trying to shock the system into change versus working from the system to change, right?
And there's different ways that different people go about different things. So and it's Jay-Z took one route and Colin Kaepernick took another route. People may be at odds, but I can almost guarantee you that Jay-Z spoke to Colin Kaepernick.
He said he did.
Yeah, they had a conversation, and I can guarantee you that. And he let Colin Kaepernick know what he was doing and what his intentions were. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think as long as they're on the same page and they know what's going on and they know they're fighting for the same common goal, then I think we need to rally behind them as people rather than looking at both of them and saying you going this way,
trying to polarize them. Like,
exactly. Like now we're what we essentially has been doing as a community for so many years, pitting each other against each other, pitting our own people against each other.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, let's just get behind the both of them. Okay, if you want to protest, kneel, please, by any means. If you want to do it from the business side and infiltrate, do that. There's so many different ways that we can do this. There's so many different ways that this system can be infiltrated to where we eventually have our rights back and we're able to do what we want. You know what I'm saying? And we have control over our communities and whatever the case may be. But the worst way to look at it is to put two people that have been very successful in their crafts and start pitting them against each other.
Working towards a common goal.
Yeah, exactly. And saying that, oh, you stepping on his feet. I'm saying, and that's why for me, I had to step outside the box and say, hey, let me check out what Jay-Z doing. Because if I was to go with my first instinct, I'd have been like, oh man, he a sellout, man. That's crazy, man. This is the same Jay-Z I've been listening to since I was 6 years old, and now all of a sudden I thought he was fighting for our social, social justice, and now he.
And I'm sure a few people felt like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But if you don't do your research, you might go with that first, that first feeling, and the next thing you know, you don't really know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It may be something much bigger than that. So it's always two sides to the story. Always two sides.
But I think like you pretty much summed it all up. As far as you have a common goal, you believe we're fighting for the same thing, it's all good. It's just whatever way that you choose to go about it, be it from within the system, from outside the system, however it is, as long as we're working towards this common goal, then hey, I'm all for it.
Exactly. At the end of the day, fight for your rights.
Fight for your rights. You see the picture right here. You see how I drew the picture right
here?
See that
Mike Tyson right there? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a left.
That's a left.
That Mike Tyson left right there.
It's a left.
Fight for your rights and give him that Mike Tyson left right there. That's all you need to do. Cause
I'm selling this piece of art too, man. If y'all want to buy it, $59.99. So let me know, man.
The whole board come with it.
I would just unscrew the whole board and bring it to you. Hey, free delivery?
Hey, $59.99. Now, but how far we gotta take? Depending on what state you in. If you're in the DMV area, free delivery. Anywhere else,
another $59.99.
Yo, hey, you have to go to UPS with a big box. Last time I tried to ship a big box, $80. Yeah, man.
You're actually doing them a favor.
Exactly.
Right.
So $59.99, that ain't bad for shipping.
It's
not bad at all, man.
But that wraps it up for us here on Gumbo. Thank you guys for joining us. Like we said, man, fight for your rights.
Throw them left. Them Mike Tyson left.
Throw it. However way you decide to go about it, just make sure you do it, man. That wraps it up for us right here on Gumbo.